Hello, this is Peace Daddy. I am here with you today and we are going to do a lesson on the division board, also known as the board of distribution. The student is going to be able to divide a number with a 4-digit dividend by a 1-digit divisor, and that's if you're a fourth year student, a fourth grader. You have to be able to divide up to a 4-digit dividend by a 1-digit divisor. If you're a fifth year student, then that changes to a 2-digit divisor. You have to divide up to 4 digits by a 2-digit divisor. Whenever we're working with division this year, I want you to be thinking about 3 things always. What does this have to do with place value? How will place value help me? What does this have to do with the properties of operations like the commutative property, the associative property, and the distributive property? And what does this have to do with multiplication? What's the relationship of multiplication to division? Those are the things we're going to be thinking about the whole time we're talking about division this year. So I'm going to move the board down, the camera down, so you can see my rug here and the materials that I have on my rug. This board that we're looking at is known as the division bead board, and it's green across the top. It's a lot like the multiplication bead board, except instead of it having red on the top, this one has green on the top. These are known as, the green beads go with division, and I have some green Skittles. These are called Skittles, and they go with the division board. So, there's a couple of things that we need to talk about when we're using this board. The first thing is that this division board is for units only, and the maximum divisor is 9. The highest divisor that you can use with this work is a 9. So the divisor is the number of times that you are splitting up your dividend. In a division problem, you start with a big number usually, and that number is called the dividend. You break that number up into parts, and that number that you use to break up the dividend is called the divisor. And then the answer in a division problem is the quotient. So those are some words that we need to know: divisor, dividend, and quotient. So the biggest divisor is 9, and the left side of the board is for the quotients. That's what this part is right here. So this is the going across the top that represents the divisor, and this is for the quotient. The quotient is computed in the number of beads distributed to a unit skittle on the board. So we'll figure out what that means in just a minute. So I'm going to divide 49 beads in this bowl. I'm going to count out 49 beads by 7. So on my paper, that would look like this top problem right here. 49 divided by 7. So 49 is the dividend. That's usually the biggest number. 49 is the dividend. I'm going to divide it by 7. 7 is the divisor. And that's the number that's going to go across the top on the green bar of my board of distribution. And then the last one, the quotient, is the answer, and that's going to be the numbers over here. So 49 divided by 7. Write that down in your copybook under your heading division bead board. And let's start out by counting out let's start out by putting our divisor, which is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now the highest I can go up to is 9. Today we're going to use 7. And then I want to divide that by 49, so I want to make sure that I count out 49 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. So that's all I need for this problem, and we'll get to these guys another day. Okay, so let's start the distribution. I have my 7 Skittles out, and I'm going to begin distributing the beads to the Skittles. The beads are going to go in horizontal rows, and we are going to fill up the whole section underneath the 7 Skittles. And each Skittle is going to get a certain number, and that's going to be our answer. So you can think of these as people. So if you're dividing something evenly, each person in the beginning gets 1, no matter how many you have, right? So we're going to divide this out, and each Skittle gets 1 bead. So far, our answer is 1, but we have more beads, so we need to keep going. He gets 2, he gets 2, he gets 2. That Skittle gets 2, that Skittle gets 2, that Skittle gets 2. The last one gets 2. So we're equally sharing these. Now we're going to start on the row of 3. Still have more beads, so we keep going. I can keep going. Plenty of beads left. 49 beads. Still have more. And I still have more, so I'm going to keep going. So far the answer is 6. Let's see if we can make it to 7. Every Skittle has to get a bead in order for 7 to be the answer. Oh, and I think we're just going to make it. So we started out with 49 beads. And again, 49 is our dividend. That's the large number right there. All those beads is the dividend. The divisor is the green bar at the top. We divided 49 by 7. And then our quotient is over here. How many beads did each Skittle get? Each Skittle got 7 beads. So the answer to 49 divided by 7 is 7. Now at the beginning of the video, I told you one of the things I wanted you to think about is the relationship of multiplication to division. And if you're looking at this and you know your multiplication facts really well, you'll be able to see that if I did this problem backwards, 7 times 7 is equal to 49. So the relationship to multiplication is that the division is the opposite of it. Multiplication and division are the opposite of one another. All right, let's try another one. The second problem says 48 divided by 7. What would happen if I had one less bead? Could I do a problem like that? So remember at the beginning I said each bead, each skittle has to have the same number of beads, otherwise you can't count it. So we can't do 48 divided by 7 on this board because we can't get the whole row filled out, right? We won't be able to get the whole row. So 6 would be the answer to 48 divided by 7, and we would have a remainder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would be left over. So 6 with a remainder of 6. 7 will go into 48. It is possible. But you can't make a whole row. So you're going to have a remainder. We only were able to give each skittle, or each person was only able to get a total of 6. So we can't say that 7 is the answer. The answer is 6 with a remainder of 6. Now, what about if we added one more? What about if we had 50? So let's go back to 49. And then what if we added one more bead to make it 50? Could we say that our answer was 8? No, because each one does not get 8. Each one gets 7, and you have 1 left over. So the answer to that would be 7 with a remainder of 1. So the answer to 50 divided by 7 is 7 will go into 50 7 times, but you'll have 1 bead left over. All right, so let's clear the board and let's try another problem. The last problem I want to do today is called 32 divided by 4. So look at that problem and see if you can think about which one of those numbers, is it 32 or 4 is the dividend? And which one of those numbers is the divisor? And then what's the name of the thing that goes at the end of the problem? While I'm setting this up, see if you can think about that and write a definition. So my dividend is going to be 32. Uh-oh, I just told you one of the answers. So I'm going to count out 32 beads. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32. Okay, and the rest of these little green beads are going to live to divide another day. I'm going to put these away. Have you thought about a good definition for divisor, a good definition for dividend, a good definition for quotient? Do you know what 32 is in the problem? Is it the divisor, the dividend, or the quotient? And do you know what 4 is in the problem? Is it the divisor, the dividend, or the quotient? Well, 32 is the biggest number, so that's the dividend. That's the number that comes first in our problem. And 4 is what we're going to break up the 32 into. We're going to break it up into groups, and it's going to be 4 groups. And then the answer is called the quotient, and we're going to see how many beads are in each of these groups of 4. So remember, the answer is always going to be 1 in the beginning because everybody's going to get 1. I like to think of it as candy. You have a lot of candy, 32 pieces of candy, and you have 4 friends to share it with. And if you're sharing it equally, everybody gets 1. Make sure that you always go in order from left to right. Fill in each row and fill in the entire row. You stop at the last skittle. And I have 4 more beads, so what does that tell us? The answer is 8. So 32 total beads. That's my dividend, divided by 4, that's my divisor, is 8. So the best use of this board, the board of distribution or the division bead board, is to help you with your division facts, memorization of division. And again, if we do the problem in reverse, 8 times 4 is 32. So the relationship between division and multiplication is that they are opposites of one another. And that is an important thing to learn when you are learning how to divide. So once again, as always, I want to say thank you for viewing in. This has been Peace Daddy. Have a great day. See you next time.